This was a brazen attack in the early morning. The army says the assailants struck at about 5 a.m. as the conscripts at this military police checkpoint were offering the dawn prayer. 2 bombs were planted. The army says the intention there was to target reinforcements coming to the area. They have been cleared. Now, the army was very quick to point the finger of blame at the outlawed Muslim Brotherhood. It has also blamed the Brotherhood for that earlier attack during the week in Cairo in which an officer was killed when a bus was targeted. We haven't seen the army putting forward any proof as to why it says the Brotherhood was responsible, and of course in the past the Brotherhood have denied any involvement in violence. Now, there has been a spate of attacks since last July when the Islamist President Mohammed Morsi was removed. Since then we have seen a continuing campaign of violence directed against the police and the security forces. Hundreds have been killed, and there are fears that we will see an upsurge in violence as we enter the presidential election period here.
So this seems to sort of fit with what you're describing as the kind of landscape that's we're seeing emerge in Egypt. How are people responding to the levels of violence there?
Well, to some extent, people are getting quite used to it. Initially, the attacks on the security forces were focused very much in the strategic Sinai Peninsula. Now, the army has been involved in a major offensive there since late last year, and most of the violence had been confined to Sinai. But in recent months, we've seen it spreading beyond that to the capital itself. We had an assassination attempt on a government minister. We had a car bomb at the police headquarters here in Cairo. And now we've had, during the week, the first attack on the military inside the capital. And of course, the police have already been targeted. So people are becoming familiar with this, but there is an anxiety that as the presidential election campaign gets underway, that militants may step up their attacks, that it's a very clear indication of the challenges ahead for the army chief, Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Now, we are expecting in the next few days that he will formally announce that he is a candidate for the president, and the army is very much a focus of anger for these Islamist militant groups. It blames the army for the brutal crackdown that has taken place here in the past few months since President Morsi was removed.